What's up, everyone? It's Roger and APF on the DisKingdom podcast, and in this episode, we're going to be discussing the Rogue One, a Star Wars story trailer, which broke last week. So Abe, you saw the trailer. What was your initial thought of it?
Really excited. It definitely looked pretty awesome seeing the stormtroopers and the AT-ATs. But yeah. Then I got a little confused after watching it a couple other times because I was mentioning to Roger not that long ago. The more I watched it, the more I felt like, is this really a Star Wars movie? Because you had a guy who looked like a samurai or a ninja, and you don't see that very often in a Star Wars movie. You see Forrest Whitaker, who looks like he's either from Edge of Tomorrow, or he's from Mad Max, or even Halo or something. He doesn't look like he fits there. But and then the AT-ATs, not in a train I'm used to seeing them in. So aside from that, it still looks awesome. It definitely looks like it's going to be a cool story. The main lead, remind me her name. I know she was in Theory of Everything, right?
Yeah.
Felicity Jones. Thank you. She looks awesome. I love her character. It almost looks like she's like the true definition of the word rebel. Like, she's definitely a rebel. And that's awesome. That totally gives that word of definition. This whole time we've known this side of the Star Wars faction as rebels. Like, she finally gives that meaning that you really wanted to see in a character. So no, I'm very excited. It looks cool. Again, like I said, still a little confused because some of the characters don't look like they fit, but it's awesome. I don't know. What do you think?
I watched the first one and I was like, like, what's going on? What's my computer doing? What's wrong? It's like, oh no, that actually is in there. It's not that warning or something. I thought it was really interesting. I was watching. It's like, this feels old. It felt old. It felt like it was part. They feel like they've actually. This is done at the same time. It is set before episode 4. It looks like it looks familiar. We got the normal stormtroopers. They got the same ships. You got it just looks like well, we're gonna remake Star Wars episode 4. It just looks so classic. And they've got little nods to the clone stuff in there, a few little droids and stuff. But I'm liking the fact that this is going to be an entirely single story. We know the ending. They get the plans. It's kind of going to be this thing of it's interesting to see them doing it as a single story, not a massive trilogy. It's a single story event. It's all going to be new characters. I'm hoping none of them are related to anybody else. I don't want Forrest Whitaker to be Finn's dad. I don't want this woman to be Rey's mum. I want them to be independent. This is about just what, essentially what humans or normal people are doing in this war. Because usually they're just getting shot at and they get thrown around and killed off without even a second's thought. It'd be nice to see a humanoid sort of story not connected to the Skywalkers. Just there's thousands and thousands of because I read the Lost Stars novel while I was on vacation last, and it was all about other people on other planets with the odd little reference here and there to Skywalker or Han Solo or something. But it was great to and I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how this works. I'm excited for it. I don't want to say I'm maybe in the same way that Force Awakens was brand new and exciting and oh my word,
right?
And that's out on Blu-ray this week, so guess what? I'll be watching this weekend. But it hasn't got that. It feels classic. But it also feels new. Feels maybe more adult based, not quite so kiddie friendly. It probably is, but it doesn't. It's not coming across as being sort of a kids movie.
I was gonna say, there's no cute little robot or an alien Gungan that might appease to kids. This one definitely looks like this is hardcore war. But I did want to piggyback off of one thing you said, how it feels old. The fact that they had what was the character's name? Mon Mothma, I think.
Yeah.
the politician.
Yeah.
Like she was in that, and like it almost looks like identical to the previous actress because they
Well,
kept her like young and everything.
Well, she's the one from Revenge of the Sith, because she was in that. So they brought her in from one of the prequels that she was in. So that's kind of quite interesting that they are kind of bridge. It's almost like this feels like one of the bridging gaps, because I think the prequels and the original trilogy were almost, they felt so separate.
Right.
There was so much stuff in the prequels that wasn't even in the original trilogy, obviously, because he invented all this brand new stuff. And sort of, you had all these droids, and it's like that crossover between the clones and the real troopers. There seems to be a bit of a crossover. The troopers are wearing different outfits. They got this new trooper with like got a different shape. I don't know if he's just going to be like a single trooper like Phasma or.
I'm noticing that they're starting to create troopers based on terrain. I feel like when we saw that clips of the AT-ATs, it looks like a different terrain we've ever seen them in. So I feel like maybe that's a trooper designated for that planet or something. I don't know, but
which makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. But no, yeah, it's cool. Like you said, it's bridging the gaps, and it's like they say below the title, it's a Star Wars story, so it's definitely within the realm of the Star Wars movies. So,
but then I always think back to like when I had my toys as a kid of Star Wars, because you're your normal stormtrooper, and then I had my snow trooper with the white mask that went all the way down the thing, and then you had the biker troopers on Endor. So to me, there was always that thing of like you had a different outfit for every planet they were on, and then you had like sand troopers and all the rest. So that's not really good, but it's interesting that I think you got like tank troopers, and there's that scene where they're all running through, where they're all like different colors and stuff, which is not something you tend to see too much. I don't know if they're just trying to cross over between them all before they get everything right. But no, it was definitely quite cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it'll definitely make sense once we finally get to see more. This is by far definitely, it wasn't the. Oh yeah, it was technically the first official teaser, right? Because the first thing we saw was just a little taste from what was a Good Morning America preview or whatever.
Right. So I was going to bring up the trailer. So it's on mute, obviously, because we don't want to get copyright flags. So just going to kind of run through this to remind us of a few little things while we're going along. So if you see anything, just hit that pause. I'll hit that pause button. Definitely, we're on Yaren when they were getting ready for the attack at the thing. That looks like classic, doesn't it? That area there. And little droids walking through. It looks old school.
Yeah, it definitely looks straight out of the originals. So.
And like this command center with like the green lights and stuff behind, this is familiar.
Yep.
This is, that scene there where, like you say, you got all the agents and stuff in there. It just looks old school. Now there was this fight scene with classic troopers that looks straight off of Tatooine, doesn't it?
Yep, definitely.
Poor little soldiers. Look at them flying around there, just being slaughtered left, right, and center. I mean, like you say, that is a classic old look of.
Yeah, it almost looks like the original actress. I mean, like obviously I know they brought her from the prequels, but like from the original, it looks great.
But also, I mean, did you see this whole thing about like people like I didn't even notice and didn't even give any thought to about people complaining about there being a female lead like Rey, and like people complaining and stuff. And
oh jeez, yeah, that's just a bunch of hating. No, that's fine. Yeah. I like it. I'm totally for it. So.
Do you know what's funny? Is like I hadn't even noticed. That was how little I'd even paid any attention to it. It was like days before it even. It's like what's all this? It's like I hadn't even thought about it, and in all honesty, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, to be honest, like the first, the first 6 Star Wars movies they made were mainly male leads. I mean, yeah, you had Leia in there, but you had Luke was the main lead. You had Anakin as the main lead.
Yeah.
Darth even had more screen time. You know what I mean? Like it's. I mean, Darth Vader, obviously, I call him Darth, but it's great. Yeah, see, that's why. But no, it's good. I honestly bring on more female leads. That's what I say. I thought I'd just bring it up because I honestly hadn't even given it any thought. Didn't even notice it. Right, so here we can see like the classic ship. I love it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, this just I mean, that scene thing there where we can just see the ships and stuff, and it beat the Death
That
Star.
part right there, was
Yeah,
awesome. When I saw that, I got a little bit of chills there.
it's like you said, it feels like Star Wars because in some
Yeah,
ways, like I think, like when we had the ships for the, it always bugged me a little bit with the prequels that the ships never looked like what we saw
right.
in. It was always, it was almost like they got carried away with trying to make everything new.
Okay, and I know, like you said, it feels like Star Wars, and it does. But then we're starting to get to the part where it doesn't.
So this bit here again looks
That
great,
looks good.
but also like this thing about the single male, the single female thing. This guy here, he could be, Poe Dameron. He could be Han Solo character. A full on main character that's going to be following, joining with her in this.
Yeah.
We just don't really know too much about him yet. And then we got this guy here, Magneto.
Yeah, that's why I didn't understand so far. Now it's starting to look like, okay, what's going on?
The thing is, I know there's some people going, is this, what's his name, Grand Tarkin, or I can't think of what his name is.
I don't remember.
But I actually, for a minute I did think, is that Ian McKenna? I actually had to Google it because I wasn't entirely sure.
It definitely looks like him.
I was just like, why is Magneto in here? Have they finally done it? Have they combined the universes? I mean, here we got this tank trooper.
Yeah,
these look slightly different. Again, I don't know if this is like the cross between the stormtrooper and the clone trooper.
Right.
I mean, this guy
here we go. Okay, we're starting to get into the, okay, this is not Star Wars anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a respirator and stuff, so that's kind of interesting. Now this trooper here, I mean, he looks bad. I mean, I really hope he gets more screen time than Captain Phasma. Or she. So we don't even know. It could be a she. It could be another she trooper. I mean, you can see some rebels actually being captured and trot through a market, which is kind of interesting because it's always been like, kill them more. And here we can see that we've got a new droid. So there must be a droid involved, that we're going to have some new droid, unless he's chasing them. But it looks a little bit too close.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what was it called? No, that's bad.
Oh, come on, Bebop and Rocksteady, come on.
Yeah, I was just say, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon meets Star Wars.
I gotta be honest. I've always loved those movies, but Star Wars was always based on original samurai stuff. So it's interesting. It's just the fact that this guy, he just walks up to these troopers, so just with a stick, and they go, he's just got a stick, and then and then they're all gone.
Oh wow, that was a really good sound effect.
Okay, so here we got Magneto walking through the water.
Again, this is kind of starting to look like this is X-Men meets Crouching Tiger meeting Star Wars, maybe.
No, this is the bit. This is This is what's got everyone a little bit like, who is this? What's going on here? So you've got some kind of chamber or light source, you've got the Imperial Guards in the red outfits behind that we haven't really seen too much before of.
This kind of more looks like where the carbonite was used, sort of.
Now, there's an instant kind of feeling, if they've got the Imperial Guards, the Emperor's got to be nearby. So is this the Emperor? And this is the thing. Is it the Emperor or is it Darth Vader? Because there's there's a little bit of breathing going on with the respirator. Now, is this the Emperor? Because you've got the Imperial Guards. Now, there's this other thought as well of, is he now going to be doing a hollow talk to Smoke or whatever? Are they going to try and kind of link in that he was involved a little bit before?
No. What that is, those are the Imperial Guards, and that's the Emperor that you see straight ahead. And the beam that you see behind is actually Darth Vader getting pressure washed, so his suit is shiny. That's exactly what's going on.
It's quite, because he's kneeling. So this is the thing that's odd. It's like,
is he kneeling? Because it could be going down a step.
Yeah,
is he kneeling? Yeah,
I don't know. Okay, so we've got another character here. Not him there talking. He's in his like Yoda kind of So we've got this
This guy.
dreadlocked guy running through with a gun. So I'm
I think
guessing,
it's one of the ninja, but with a gun.
yeah, he's got kind of. He looks maybe he's crossed over from the Ghostbusters because he's got a big jetpack on the
That's
back.
true. That's true. Yeah, he's looking for Melissa McCarthy in the new cast. So
See, this is the thing with this, like the Rogue Squadron stories, because you've kind of got different characters. There's going to be a team of them. It's not just
right.
her on herself. You can see here he's running, she's running. There's
This scene was completely, again, I was like, wow, palm trees and you have AT-ATs. This made me feel like, I mean, this is definitely possible, but it doesn't seem familiar to me. So it's definitely new. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, this is the kind of thing with these ATATs or AT-ATs is, I think for us, we always associate them with Hoth.
Yeah, because
right?
that's the classic place.
That's the only place we really saw them in the movies. I'm trying to think. We did see where we saw the little chicken walkers on AT-ATs on Endor, but also if you think back to Star Wars Battlefront, the big AT-ATs are in that game. They're everywhere, and
But,
also
I mean,
also on the Battle of Jakku in terms of Force Awakens, you see these on the ground in the desert.
yeah, exactly. Well, I was gonna say, I mean that's where Rey lived. She lived in a fallen AT-AT. So
it's not completely out of it, but I still think there's an association with Hoth for them because it was such an iconic scene.
Absolutely.
But I can't believe it's like they're back. I mean, this is just like, how cool is this? This was just like classic. Like, oh wow. I mean, at first it kind of looked like one of those fan-made trailers and going, really? What?
Yeah, exactly. Totally. I mean, that's why I told you. I just kept feeling like, is this really a Star Wars movie? Yeah.
It's just, it's quite funny because, I mean, already my dad and my brother were all like, right, that's us sorted for a night out in December. We've already like, opening weekend, that's us going. I mean, here you can see her.
That shot right there that looks really classic. But then you can see she's probably going undercover there. Because look what she's wearing, you know what I mean? Like
she's in the Imperial. I'm wondering if she is in like the fighter pilot, the TIE fighter, because she's dressed in black.
Right.
Now the question is, we get a little bit of like the Imperial music. Is she turning to the dark side, or is she undercover, or was this where she was originally? We don't. Everything's can be taken completely out of context because timelines make no sense.
Right.
It could be before, it could be after, it could be, like you say, she could be a spy.
Yeah, my guess is she's undercover. She's kind of like Han and Luke wearing the stormtrooper outfit,
Yeah, it's just I'm still trying to get my name, working my way around the name of like Rogue One, a Star Wars story. It doesn't. I keep wanting to say Star Wars Rogue One. I keep.
Because we're so used to the
the way it just doesn't. It's like Rogue One. I keep writing Star Wars / Rogue One, and even the toy like merchandise that they put on the front is kind of like Star Wars Rogue One. Underneath that, they just kind of like with the I think the merchandise is even going down that line of being Star Wars Rogue One, which I think, in all honesty, I think is what people are going to kind of naturally kind of grind to, because they're going to want to say the Star Wars story.
I think it's to not confuse the moviegoers, because to be honest with you, the gamers definitely know what it stands for because we're used to seeing that. But for those who watch movies, are like, Rogue One, what's that? Like, oh, it's a Star Wars. It's a Star Wars.
And it's you can see there on the packaging here, you can see Rogue One very kind of clearly labeled. And I love the fact that there's troopers on the front. You got the AT, and then you can almost feel like this is a way of selling kids the classic toys all over again.
Right, exactly.
They basically redeveloping these toys for a new audience. But yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be seeing so much merchandise.
What is that toy?
Well, that's just the.
It's just the box.
This is just a box for all.
Okay, cool.
So this is the box for all merchandise. That's everything's going to be tied into. You can see,
good.
Says,
I'm glad you explained that. I'm like, are they making wallets or
no? Because it says like product name, product description, feature call out, product name. So you can it's a bit like the one you see with Kylo Ren with his lightsaber. So we're going to see a lot of this kind of packaging because it's going to be uniform across everything.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of merchandise. We're going to see bits and pieces. I think again, a lot of hype. This is kind of again getting me quite excited about Star Wars Celebration this year that I'm going to in London. Because I think Rogue One is going to be the big heavy pusher, because I think Episode 8, that's still got another movie in between. But I do wonder if they want to go with that Star Wars / Rogue One, because they want people to go, what's happened to Rey? Who are these people?
well, this kind of makes sense. It's kind of doing the same exact thing they did last year. They released the first teaser, and then I'm sure that in Celebration they'll probably release the second one. So, because that's exactly what they did with Force Awakens. So you might get a even better trailer there. So,
well, I'm wondering if with May the 4th coming up, I'm wondering, if they're going to tie something in with that. Maybe some. I know they got lots of new products and stuff. I don't think we're going to be seeing any Rogue One products on shelves or anything. Probably I think they'll probably do that same thing they did with September last year. But I agree. Star Wars Day in September, which was a massive success globally.
Yeah, I'll agree. They'll have countdown timers at the stores again, and just wait till September.
I think the fact that we've got an idea of these characters a little bit earlier, if we start seeing toys of these figures and stuff, it's not going to be a huge surprise. It's if they bring out, if there's some action figures with these characters with their names, and then I don't wonder if they don't have to worry about the surname issue. I'm wondering if they can. Because I think that was the big thing with Finn and Rey, because everyone was like, well, what's the surname? What's their surnames? Because everything was being kept secret. Well, Finn didn't have one, and Rey, we don't know what it is, and she doesn't know what it is. But it just, I don't know, it's looking good. I'm really excited about it. It feels good to have another new Star Wars movie, but this one feels familiar. It feels very different, because I think Episode 8 is going to go in a completely different direction, because that's all new.
Right.
This is good. And I'm also maybe hoping what's going to go on with the other stories with Boba Fett, Han Solo. Are they all these individual little movies going to make more sense when we see all of them together, because there'll be crossover characters? Because I'm suspecting some of these characters are going to be popping up in the other mid-story episodes, if they do a Darth Vader one or whatever.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely what's going to happen. They're going to try to tie them together somehow. And whether they use one character from one movie to the other, or maybe they do something that you see in this movie that you're going to see the same scene in a different perspective. I mean, it could be many ways. So,
I mean, I know Ewan McGregor did an interview, and he was saying, he's completely up for doing an Obi-Wan story set between the two. I'd love to see that, because I always felt he was a really cool, and he'll be a bit older than he was then, so it will cross over nicely with the original one. I'd love to see a little bit more of him in there, because I always felt he was kind of one of the best things about the prequels. I always felt he did a really good job as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it'll be nice to see that little bit of connection between the two. I know they did, it's not like they did the end of Return of the Jedi, like, right, we're going to get rid of Alec Guinness now, and that is Obi-Wan Kenobi, is Ewan McGregor. But it'll be kind of nice. I think that would be a good mid movie. He's older, so he kind of looks between the two. And I think they could do it. And it'd be a nice way to cross over a little bit between the prequels, because I think that really is needed. I
want to see a Yoda movie.
Yoda origin about 700 years ago, before any of it existed.
Exactly. I would love to see that.
That's. I think that's coming in 2030. I think that'll be
nice. All right.
Yeah. This gravy train isn't stopping. It is just gonna keep rolling.
They're gonna keep pouring the gravy. They're gonna keep pouring it.
Yeah, that they have got plans for Star Wars. We got to look back in about 20 years there to be like, it's Star Wars movie 98. It's gonna be like, and then we're honest, it's like, it's great. I don't mind it at all. It's just feels so nice to have new Star Wars content. And it's, as much as it is fun kind of jumping back in and looking at stuff that we already know, I think Episode 8 is where things are going to start taking a different direction, because they can go in a new. They're not having to tie everything to the past anymore. They can kind of finally step forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. Well, anyway, guys, we'd love to know your thoughts on Star Wars, or Star Wars Rogue One, or Rogue One and Star Wars. Obviously, you did it then. Love to know in comment below. Be sure to check us out at DisKingdom.com. Be sure to join up with our Facebook groups as well, and you kind of got us on Twitter and etc. Also, patreon.com/DisKingdom. You can keep up and sort of join us and help support us and help develop these shows. You do get access to these a little bit earlier over there as well. And a big thank you to Ethan at sortofapps.com as well for being again this month's sponsor. And I'll be speaking to him on an episode this week where we're going to be talking about Walt Disney World and doing bits and pieces and stuff and kind of be having a good chat about Walt Disney World. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you guys soon. Laters.
Bye.
Bye.